Welcome back to ClimaCon 2022. We're here in Glendale, Arizona, home of the NHL's Arizona Coyotes Hockey Club. We'll be speaking with Javier Gutierrez, the team's president, CEO, and alternate governor. Sports like hockey are about more than just the competition, and Javier and his team exemplify that. The Coyotes, their staff, their team, their players, they set the bar for using sports as an impact platform. We're here to hear more about that from Javier. Let's go. So can you start by telling us your name and your role?
Sure. My name is Javier Gutierrez. I'm the president, CEO, and alternate governor for the Arizona Coyotes National Hockey League team.
Seems like community is obviously a really big thing for you and for the team and everything. One question I wanted to ask about is obviously you guys are in the process of building a new stadium and very different from the location where we are today, which is exciting. So what does that mean for the community, given that you're so ingrained with the community and that it's such a big part of the Coyotes mission?
Sure. Well, we've proposed a new sports and entertainment district that will house our new arena. So it's more than just an arena. We see it as really an urban redevelopment project at a massive scale. It's about 46 acres along Tempe Town Lake in Tempe, and about a mile from 70,000 students in the Tempe campus of Arizona State University. And it's very exciting. That's really where there's a lot of corporate relocation going on. It's the center of the innovation and growth and technology sort of industries that you're seeing here in Arizona growing more and more each and every day. And for us, it's exciting because we do see it as an iconic and transformative project. It's a landfill currently right now, and it's half of it is where the facilities maintenance yard is for the city of Tempe, and the other half actually recently caught on fire, to give you a sense of just how polluted it is. And we see this as an opportunity to turn what we believe is about 1.5 million tons of trash and landfill into over a $2 billion investment that will house not only our arena and our practice facility that'll be open to the public, but a very vibrant urban village. It will have a medical office campus. It'll have retail and restaurant row, what we envision to be the Rodeo Drive of Arizona, 2 hotels, a live theater for about 3,500 seats, and then about 1,600 units of housing. And so the vision has always been to live, to work, and to play all in one community. And we think it not only benefits the community from a investment perspective. We are proposing this to be a privately financed project. It'll be the first privately financed sports and entertainment facility in the history of Arizona. But it also takes something that currently is a liability in this landfill and creates a real vibrant, economically valuable enterprise.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. The fact that it's quite literally on a landfill, on trash. I mean, that's something that I think you wouldn't normally assume, what's going to go there, an awesome stadium.
Sure.
So why go there? You touched on this a little bit, but, why choose to go somewhere that is in such a dire environmental state, I guess? Why is that so important to the organization and maybe you personally?
Yeah, well, there is the site, and then there's the location.
I see.
The site in and of itself is certainly challenged, and we think that we are doing something that is by far the highest and best use for that specific site. But that location is phenomenal. We see it as the main of the entire state. It's the home of not only Arizona State University, which is the largest public university in the country, and so the vibrancy that you have of a university, but also its corporate community is significant, and its proximity to the corporate headquarters in downtown Phoenix as well as in Tempe, again, being at the forefront of the growth and the technology industries, really, and the innovation economy that really is being spawned by all the efforts at ASU. really makes it a great location. And then in terms of where you look at the population growth, there's significant population growth coming out of there. We're centrally located to a lot of transportation, both public transportation as well as multimodal forms of transportation. And so it's an exciting location. It's exactly where we see the future of not only our organization, but really the future of Arizona going. And we're excited to be a part of transforming it and being part of its growth.
That's awesome. And I assume that weather has probably impacted, weather and climate, the building of the stadium. And I think a lot of people probably assume an indoor sport, weather probably has no impact on you. And we know that operations, no matter your industry, are heavily influenced. So can you talk a little bit about how maybe the conditions here have impacted the building of the stadium and how you adapted to that?
Sure. Well, there's obviously the arena, and we're being very mindful of playing hockey in the desert. We're sitting here in our current arena, and it's one of the colder ones in the NHL. And the reason is it does have to be slightly colder than the other arenas because of the outside weather that you have to maintain. But we see this as a broader discussion. It's not just about the arena, it's about the entire district. We are looking for something that is not only sustainable, so looking at the best practices that exist out there for renewable energy, for sustainable building materials, and all the other aspects of creating something that would get us to an elimination, if not certainly a significant reduction of our carbon footprint. But also we want something that's walkable. We're very mindful that we are in the desert, and so if you're going to have folks live there and go to restaurants there and go shopping and have their offices there, you still want them to have walkability, and you still want them to be able to enjoy every component of that entire district. And so it's very top of mind, whether it's being our shading program that we're going to be putting, whether it's going to be just the way that we position the buildings in order to maximize the shade opportunities, but also how we go about building this. What materials we use, what are the processes that we are undertaking to remediate the land, which again is a very unique component to this. All of that is coming into play as we're being very, very progressive and very top of mind in terms of how best to deliver a project that is not only iconic and will create this incredible game environment and a wonderful urban village to live in, but does so in a way that takes into account climate change and takes into account sustainability.
Yeah, it sounds like you've had probably a lot of learnings then from that process on the sustainability front. And you're doing so much, not just with the building, but we've read about other initiatives around sustainability. What lessons or takeaways would you maybe have for other teams who want to become more sustainable in their operations? Recommendations of how to even start launching initiatives like that?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the first thing is to be intentional about it, to say this is important, this is core. At the core of our business plan are three primary pillars, which is impact, inclusion, and innovation. And the concentric circle is everything around impact. How can we leverage this incredible power of sports, this voice that sports gives you, to truly make a difference in the world around us and in people's lives? And it does include being sustainable and thinking about the physical environment that we live in. And so we're looking at this as an opportunity to build something that's great, but also build something that shows you can create dynamic urban village, being mindful yet of all of the climate impact that exists out there. And so for us, that's part of impact, right? And so it starts with being intentional about saying those things are important. I think the next thing is to be authentic, to say it is core to what we do, not just episodically, not just for one thing or for a celebration of the Earth Day or what have you, but it's something that's core to what we do, and that makes it really authentic to who you are as an organization. And then finally is just being innovative. Like here we are, we're talking about hockey in the desert, and yet we're having a conversation about how we can be part of the discussion about sustainability, right? And about addressing the issues of climate in our world. And so for us, we take that that opportunity very seriously to be a voice, to be a leader, to not necessarily have all the answers, but convene all the folks to come up with the right answers. And so we're excited about leveraging that power of sports we have to truly make an impact.
Yeah. That's awesome. We were at a panel, actually, not myself, but Gareth and his team recently in New York 2 days ago, they heard the director of sustainability, his name is escaping me right now, but for the NHL actually speak. Yeah, and he spoke about how it's so important to tie business processes into the sustainability initiatives and really drive business outcomes. So you're doing good, but you're also seeing results. So how do you measure, or how does the organization measure those sustainability results and maybe see the ROI of them even?
Sure. Well, I think there's always people KPIs and process KPIs. With people, it's who you're bringing to bear, who you're bringing to the table, rather, and having their voice be meaningful and saying these are individuals that have this at top of mind and who are embracing these issues. And so I think the KPI is by expanding the voices that you have at the table and the conversations that you're having and how that permeates into not only the way you operate as a business, but the way you operate as a physical enterprise in a community. I think the second thing is just the process, right? So to say, again, this is important. We're going to bring in the best-in-class experts to help guide us, and to put in things that other corporations out there have been very successful in doing, whether that be recycling, whether that be our supporting of organizations and our vendors in our supply chain. And so I think it's not just one answer, it's all of the above. But it does start by saying we're going to be intentional about it, we're going to be authentic, and we're going to think out differently and utilize the best-in-class technology, utilize the best-in-class individuals and experts. And it's all of the above, and we're going to live it every single day.
Love it. And we're talking a lot really around the topic of ESG. It's really top of mind for a lot of companies, a lot of leagues and teams as well. And so we've talked on the environmental side, sustainability. Socially, though, I know that you guys are doing so much. We were just reading about it on the DE&I front. I think it's so important to talk about. Why is that so important for your organization? And maybe how does that benefit the org in the team, the community, to have such a diverse staff, team, operations, leadership? How does that kind of manifest, so to speak?
Sure. Well, I'm very honored, obviously, to be the first Latino president CEO in the history of the NHL, working alongside the first Latino owner in the history of the NHL. And to us, it's just who we are. And so when we think about not only what the right thing is to do, but the right business decision, I've often used the line of what made Wayne Gretzky the greatest player ever is, you go to where the puck is going. And where's the puck going in America? It's going young, it's going female, it's going diverse. It's going purpose-driven, and it's going to tech-savvy. And in terms of being diverse, really you need to have diverse voices at the seat of decision-making. That's part of inclusion for us. That second pillar that I discussed is using the power that we have to bring people from different backgrounds, gender, races, ethnicities, sexual orientations, industries, and knowledge base, and to bring them to the table of decision making so that we can tap into those growth cohorts in America. That's not only important for us, but it's important for our partners. When you think of our media partners, right now we signed a national media partnership with ESPN and Turner Sports. They're looking for those growth cohorts. They're looking to see not only this sport, but our enterprises look and reflect like the viewers they want to capture. And so for us, it's a business decision to be that bridge to those growth cohorts and to use our platform of sports to tap into them. And so you do that by first reflecting that. I take great pride in the fact that in the 2 short years that I've been here, I have the largest female front office in the NHL. We recently appointed the first Latina chief operating officer in the NHL. So when I say I'm in a community that's 43% Latino, I have those voices at the table helping reflect that and helping us get there. And that allows us to create very genuine and authentic partnerships with not only community organizations, but with our corporate partners. Those are business decisions. I constantly talk about the fact it's the right thing to do, but it's even more importantly as the right business decision to make.
That makes sense. With the younger fan base especially being so focused on purpose, which is awesome, climate change, social justice, sustainability, how do you engage with that base and make sure that in Tempe, for example, you are talking to the ASU community in a great way?
Yeah, well, like as I mentioned, part of the growth cohorts that you're seeing are folks that are purpose driven, and they want to align themselves with brands that reflect the values that they have. And so for us, it is a very intentional effort to say we are an organization that is not only mindful, but that is part of convening people around solutions, whether it be for climate, whether it be for social justice, D&I, the entire ESG impact movement is something that we take core to what we stand for as an organization. Mm-hmm. And again, we do that not only because it's the right thing to do, but because it's what our fans and our fans in waiting are looking to do. When I think about the opportunity to tap into the ASU student population, that's what you hear from them. They want to know that you as a brand, you care about the community that they live in. You care about the world that they live in and about the issues that really impact them every single day. And so for us, we're excited to be engaged in those things because that's just who we are. Mm.
Yeah, the site of the new arena right now is there's some obvious challenges, and you're going to bring true sustainability and progress there. But can you talk a little bit maybe more about tactically, how are you addressing these challenges? Are there certain tools that you're using to adapt? I mean, a literal fire. If you can talk generally more about that.
Yeah, well, again, this is the site that we've proposed to build on, in part because we think that it is an opportunity to take this landfill and create a landmark. And part of how you do it is the team that you put around you and the emphasis that you place on it. So when we've talked to the general contractor and construction management firm that we've selected, when we've talked to the architects that we've selected and the team of designers that we've selected, we said, this is important. This is going to be a project that we are envisioning will stand the test of time. And part of standing the test of time in a desert is not only remediating it appropriately, but creating the structures that will be able to withstand the changes in weather and the changes in our desire to have the best in class when it comes to technology and when it comes to the technologies around sustainability. And so it's all of the above. It's not just one thing. It's everything that we're thinking about doing. We've been very clear that it is something that we're interested in. And when you think about open space and green space in the desert, it's different. Yeah. And the landscape that you do, the water recapture and systems that you're thinking about, the utilization of renewable energy and where that works and where that doesn't work, and then constant focus and mindset around making sure that people feel that they can have an indoor and outdoor experience. So the vision we had from one end to the other, we want people to be able to walk. We want to be able to be outside year round, and not just be sitting indoors watching our team win a Stanley Cup, but really enjoying the entire district year round.
Yeah, awesome. I can't wait to see it. Yeah.
We're very excited about it. We feel that what we've proposed is, again, an iconic, really transformative project that will really redefine what urban redevelopment looks like. And, for us, we've constantly said we envisioned a project that happened to have an arena. It wasn't an arena project. And so for us, we see it that way. When we think about sustainability, when we think about renewable, when we think about energy efficiency, we see it that way because we know that's not only what's going to make our project more valuable, but that's what's going to attract individuals to really support us as an organization and support that district.
Got it. Makes sense. Thank you for going into that more. Yeah, absolutely. That was really helpful.
Sure.
I think that, to be cognizant of time, I think that we've hit on all the big points that I wanted to. Anything that you want to share to make sure that we haven't talked about?
No, I just think that, what's exciting about being in this role is you do have this platform to talk about things through the prism of sports. I've often said that what I really am excited about is I get to lead an impact enterprise. And it happens to be a professional hockey team, an NHL team. But that's what it is. It is an impact enterprise. Not only does it impact our community around us, the world around us, but also the business community. And when I get a chance to talk about the importance of bringing diverse voices to the seat of decision making, I get a chance to also then make those decisions and put them into action. And so what sports gives you the opportunity to do so is then to amplify it. As I've said, in sports, we're in the memory-making business, and part of those memories that we hope to make are the improvements and the impact of having this change be put into action. So it's exciting. I feel really honored to be in this role and appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys.
Thanks so much for such an insightful session, Javier. Now, I'm so excited to turn it over to Monica, who will introduce our ESG and climate adaptation winner for the sports and entertainment industry. Monica, over to you.
Thanks, Kelly. That was a super informative session with Javier. The winner of our ESG and Climate Adaptation Award within the sports and outdoors industry is the NFL.
Join us May 12th for the second day of ClimateCon. We've got speakers across the public and private sectors in government, space, weather, and climate, from the White House, FEMA, all the way down to local cities. It's going to be an amazing lineup. We're looking forward to seeing you there. And don't forget, we're also going to have a special session with our own Tomorrow.io experts talking about our upcoming satellite launch. You can't miss this. Join us, Day 2, ClimateCon, May 12th.
Most people are realizing what we've always known about space, which is that it is a multidisciplinary phenomenon.
All this great innovation that's happening is in the private sector, and you're seeing it like none other than in space.
The applications for radar are absolutely huge.
You can kind of play around with and look at in a visualization sense.
We're looking at the entire value chain and saying, how can we solve each of the pieces independently to make the whole much better?
And it was always my dream to develop an even more robust real-time constellation. And when I saw that Tomorrow.io was planning to do that, I thought, why not join them?
I mean, we use the vantage point of space to understand Earth, to improve life on Earth.
In 1,000 years, people will be reading about what we do in space in the next decade or so. And so I invite you to join us on this journey.